Hi, runners. How are you? It's Coach Joe, and
Coach Dean.
I should start by saying that we are not a couple.
We're not.
But there is a couple. They're over there. They're getting their wedding engagement picture taken. Very attractive Scottsdale couple. Nice looking dress that the woman is wearing, all dressed up for their big pictures that are going to grace their wedding announcements probably.
Right.
We came to think about
Couples.
Can you be a couple and run where one spouse runs and the other doesn't? Or where both spouses run?
Or, let's compound it. Both are Ironman triathletes?
Ironman triathletes, ultra runners.
Yeah.
Really competitive. How do you do that?
Yeah.
It's hard. Should we speak from, let's speak from our experiences. We've both been married men. And not.
And
we've had our ups and downs in our lives. In my first marriage, I was quite unsuccessmal with this.
Now we're not going to go through it.
No, we're not.
Okay.
I was going to use the example of where you have one spouse that works out and one that doesn't.
Yeah.
And my ex-wife wanted to work out with me, but I'm obviously quite a fast, accomplished runner, and so it just caused us grief because I would try to run with her, and it was not good. Yeah. And it didn't end our marriage. It was very early in our marriage, actually. But I stopped running for a long time, and that wasn't good.
That's not good.
Because I became a porky guy. But that also could have been the steaks and martinis. It was a combination.
Yeah, that plays a role in it.
All right. What was your experience?
I've been. My first wife was non-athletic, and I was able to go do my thing. And we had a son, so that kind of worked. It was a good thing there. Second go round, it was though she was very athletic. She was into other sports. Time consuming. It was an interesting balance with kids and trying to say, okay, who's got the kids? How do you do this? How do you take care of that? So that was a little bit more of a balancing act. Yeah. I've never been married to another serious runner where I had the opportunity to say, okay, who's going for what run? Right. Can you stay with me? Can I stay with you? How long is your run, or how fast is my run? Yeah.
But already you can see the issue and how challenging this is.
Well, I'm going to add one more challenge to it. Yeah. You and I are also coaches. And so what happens when perhaps our significant other is an athlete?
Oh, and they ask you for advice.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ugly.
Well, here's what I do. I send them to Coach Dean.
And I send them to Coach Joe.
Yeah, because that's just
ugly.
This is just the first rule, is that your spouse is not going to listen to you as a coach.
Yeah, it doesn't work very well.
Anyway.
Your kids won't either, by the way.
Well, that's right. Yeah, everybody else thinks that you're... brilliant coach, coach to the stars, but they wouldn't listen to you.
No, it's like
they say,
Dad?
Who should I call?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I could help you myself, but anyway, we digress, as we often do.
Back to couples.
Yes, well, and I would also add that a lot of elite runners couple up. You think of like the Gouchers, Adam and Kara. Right. There are a bunch in Portland where they always seem to be referring. I'll be talking to the one, and they'll be referring to their spouse. I'll be, oh, you're married to them. It's like, wow. How do they balance that? But I think maybe elites have an advantage in that they probably have really structured workouts, and they're going with groups and things like that where they go do their workouts. They probably do them separately.
Well, at the elite level, of course, that's their job. So you can also think that they're employed to run. Right. So each one has their job. So again, that they don't go and perhaps like you or I, you work an 8-hour day or 10-hour day, and then you try and fit in a workout and balance childcare and balance all those daily activities. Their lives are a little bit different. Yeah, exactly. So maybe they can pull that off. So that's an interesting thing. Maybe at the elite level, coupling it might work okay. Yeah.
And they understand the pressures of it and the travel. And,
But I'll put a twist on that. Yeah. What happens, especially when you look at an elite level and one's injured? Yeah. So one can't do what they love and what's their job. They're probably, and the other one gets to go express that.
Yes.
Again,
one of them then is going to drink, and it's either going to be the injured
one, me,
or the one listening to the injured one.
That's right. That's right. But it takes but there's that it's about how couples interact, but it's also psychology of, okay, you have to change and say, okay, I'm here to support that other person, even though I personally can't work out. And the other person is, even though I'm working out, I need to be here and be understanding of this person's perhaps moodiness or whatever else because they're not working out and they're not doing what they love.
Yeah.
So very interesting in what those dynamics are. I know when I've been injured and not run, it's been reported that I can be a little moody.
Really?
It was reported that way. Now, mind you, you always have to consider the source.
His ex-wife.
So,
I think you just made your point.
Thank you.
Yeah. He was injured like the last 2 years.
And sure enough,
yeah. No, but I think going the other way. So when you have a spouse that doesn't work out, the challenge can be, do they understand what you're talking about? That the athlete loves to run, needs that time for them,
right? And
are they willing to make those trade-offs? It's always the pressure of, well, should I be home and should we be cooking dinner and doing something together when ultimately that time, that hour, if that's what it is really beneficial for that spouse, right? Because athletes, they need that.
There's a gentleman I'm coaching right now. He's about a 3-hour marathoner, runs Boston, all very, very, very accomplished runner. And his wife is not a runner, but they've kind of come to agreements that, look, on Saturday mornings he goes for his long run. Right. And when it happens to be up those 20 milers or whatever, it's also understood, okay, he may come back and take a nap for a little bit, but then the rest of the day is hers.
Maybe
and
the rest
they
of
go,
the
yes, exactly.
Maybe the rest of the weekend,
right.
Because
but they've got kind of an agreement. It works for them. She understands that 2 nights a week he goes to track, but she goes out with the gals and does her thing. They've negotiated
found
out
a way
so
to do it.
There's a situation of a runner, non-runner, and they've got a very nice arrangement.
Yeah. What about 2 runners, average runners? How we make that work?
Okay.
I one thing that I think does work is like I said, group runs. Maybe where are you going, and you're both there, and you're participating in the start and finish, but you maybe separate during the run itself if you're at different paces. Yeah. Running on the track is great. Yeah. Running at the gym is great. Yeah. Right.
They're great examples. I've got another, of course, having so many here locally, got a couple, and they both run, and they're both Boston qualifier type runners. They go to the track together. They run at different paces, but they're at the track together. So that's still time that they're there together.
Right.
They go for their long runs. They're actually,
that's right. High-five each other.
There you go. Right? Going after
that was a really terrible high five. Oh, jeez. We'll work on that.
Well, it was right hand to right hand.
There we go. That's what they do. Fist bump.
But they go for long runs, and they start at the same point. They may do the first mile or so warm up. Then he goes off on his pace. She does her pace. They all come back. They know they'll be back in X number of hours, whatever it is. And that, again, even their long runs, even though they're different paces, they spend that time together. And for them, that works.
And they may see each other, at aid stations, out and backs, things like that, which is good. And you can support each other in races and things. Right. My wife Stacy is famous for. Remember the Joe Zone? Stacy's she's not a runner or an athlete, but when I did Ironman Arizona, she set up a huge tent and invited everyone we knew, and they had T-shirts and posters, and it was really cool. It was really neat. He was there. Yeah. It was a surprise. I didn't know all these people were coming, and so that's really cool when people do that. So I think that there are ways that it can be healthy, but it starts with, I think, spouses understanding each other's needs. You got it. Understanding those needs and communicating. And I know that sounds so basic with almost any relationship, but it really starts there. And so it can work, regardless of the level. Like, boy, you better understand what the other person's needs are and be able to talk about this stuff and not assume and then be so self-absorbed and selfish about our running or whatever it is. You got to realize you're going to have to make a choice. Is your running or your activity so much more important than your relationship? Right. And that's a personal choice, but certainly you've got to be able to have that discussion on where these things lie. And then you can be very successful at it. Yeah. So it's give and take. 1 + 1 equals 3? 2? 3? Yeah, that's what math is. I don't know. It's something like that. Well, we hope that it works for you. We hope that you don't end up like some of us that might be on this 6-inch screen that you're watching. Drop us a line. Tell us your story. Hopefully it's a success story. We don't do couples counseling. Yeah. And again, we're not a couple. But that's it for now. And hopefully we'll be back again if we don't get canceled for this one. And we'll have another topic when we're back. So thanks for watching.